Hi, I'm Francis Deondon and I will be sharing my book report about the novel Family Comes First, which I read like 7 years ago. The book Family Comes First was originally completed and published on Wattpad on July 30, 2014. After gaining attention from readers, it underwent a thorough revision and was republished on the same platform on September 13, 2022, offering an updated and refined version of the original story. The author, Mason Fitzgibbon, is a self published author known for her psychological thrillers and dark romance stories. She gained significant attention with her debut novel, which is Family Comes First. It explores themes of family secrets, captivity, and survival. The genre is primarily psychological horror because the story delves into intense themes such as Stockholm Syndrome and cannibalism, set within a disturbing family dynamic. Readers have described the book as emotionally intense and mentally challenging, with some noting its portrayal of the protagonist's descent into psychological trauma. The narrative's dark and unsettling atmosphere combined with graphic content places it firmly within the horror genre, particularly psychological horror. The plot explores the harrowing journey of Juliet, a young woman who, after a traumatic past, becomes entangled in a sinister family tradition. The narrative delves into themes of captivity, manipulation, and the complexities of Stockholm Syndrome. As Juliet grapples with her captivity and the dark customs of her captors, the plot unfolds within the confines of an isolated farm where Juliet is subjected to the family's gruesome practices, including murder and cannibalism. As she navigates this nightmarish reality, the story examines her psychological welfare and the blurred lines between victim and participant. The novel's intense and disturbing content challenges readers to confront the darkest aspects of human nature and the psychological effects of prolonged trauma. When I first read Family Comes First, it was still 2018 and I was still 12 years old. Despite being young for such a dark psychological thriller, the story immediately drew me in. The villains were written so convincingly that I found myself empathizing with them, almost experiencing Stockholm Syndrome alongside the protagonist. It sparked my interest in the genre and shaped how I view complex characters and narratives. The novel's strength lies in its intense psychological depth and portrayal of emotional manipulation. It creates a disturbing yet gripping atmosphere that lingers. However, some part feels overly graphic and pacing can be uneven, with certain scenes dragging while others rush by. Still, it's a powerful read that leaves a lasting impression. The quotation that stayed with me, that proved the whole story, is that when in the last part where Lena, her friend, said that you don't need to worry about those psychos anymore, and the main character Juliet asked, "Psychos?" I raised a brow. I raised a brow. She was never going to understand. No one was going to understand how much I loved Jimmy. This quotation reveals the psychological depth of the protagonist's emotional entrapment, particularly her attachment to her captor, Jimmy. Despite being labeled a psycho by an outsider, the protagonist defends him, showing how deeply she has internalized her distorted reality. This illustrates a key symptom of Stockholm Syndrome, developing emotional bonds with one's abuser, and highlights the novel's central theme of blurred moral boundaries and the complexity of trauma bonding. That's all for my book report on the novel Family Comes First. Thank you for listening.